Welcome to the Woodpreneur podcast, the number one podcast for the business and marketing side of the lumber, woodworking, hardwood flooring, and sawmill industry. I'm your host, Steve from Acres of Timber. Each week, we feature various wood business owners and entrepreneurs from around the globe. We share their stories, paths, insights so that you can network, learn, and grow your own wood business. Thank you so much for listening. Now enjoy the episode. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Woodpreneur podcast. This is your host, Steve Larziliere. I got John Bonema from Cut Twice Woodworking. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Hey, so John was part of my mentorship program, and we've been working together for about a year. So I wanted to get him on to talk about his experience in the program and just share the journey, because it's been pretty cool. I think I'm looking at your hat. That logo was not there, and then behind you is a news article that was not there when we first started. That's like highlighted. So I mean, first off, congratulations. I'm really proud of the progress that you made. Tell everybody just a little bit about your company.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Cut Twice Woodworks started in Northern California in March of 2020, and then we relocated my family so my wife could go to Vanderbilt. So I'm outside of the Nashville area, and I specialize in custom furniture and custom gifts. And the power of the program has given me the ability to, I think the last check was like 210% of my goal for 2023. So definitely over hit the goal of revenue. But ultimately, the program, I can say so many things about mentality, going through challenging times as an entrepreneur, the value of a community that has similar goals. And it's awesome that the program has kind of just provided that all to me.
What was the challenge that you were going through before you joined? Like, where were you at with your business? Hey, Steve Larziliere here. Sorry to interrupt this great episode of the Woodpreneur podcast, but I want to let you know that we are just releasing our latest training. And over this training, I go over how I helped generate $200,000 and 300 leads for clients. And during this 45-minute training, we will go over the frameworks, the strategies, and the concepts that you need to scale from 6 figures to 7 figures, or even just get started. These are the building blocks that I've seen help wood, lumber, furniture, millwork companies grow and scale. So I've been hearing it lots of times, like, I just need a training, I need a training. So we finally put it together. So wherever you're consuming this, just click the link in the description and you'll be able to access it.
So originally, I was doing a lot of different little events and fairs and doing cutting boards and coasters and little knickknacks, and I just assumed naively that by handing out business cards that people would also know that I do custom furniture, because my goal is always to do larger scale projects. And I quickly learned that it doesn't work that way. But ultimately, the biggest challenge I had was where I live is rural, and getting quality leads in front of different clientele that value and also, quite frankly, can afford custom furniture. So I would say that getting the right audience was the challenge. There's so many other things that trickle down after that, but I would say getting the right audience and also focusing in on what exactly I wanted to do, because I was boiling the ocean.
Yeah. And And what was it about the program that really spoke to you when we first talked and joined? Like what do you think that was the thing that truly made you want to join?
Well, you know, I was actually referred to the program through a my friend's wife, my high school friend's wife in Orlando, Florida, saw Acres of Timber Instagram account, and she had mentioned to her husband, "Hey, I know that your friend John's been serious about his business. Why don't you forward this over to him?" And
That's
I
wild.
checked it out. Yeah. Yeah, and I checked it out. I checked out the YouTube channel, and you know, a- at the time, I had tried the other larger kind of referral based companies
Hmm.
that they charge as a company they charge you an amount each month, and then they have to or then they are supposed to provide you leads, and I felt duped by that, but I let that go on probably 2 or 3 months longer than I should have. But ultimately, in speaking with you, I noticed that you know you were interested in my goals. You've always been upfront and honest about sharing your expertise. Even since the first call, you asked me what's your goal for this year, and I think my goal was to hit $10,000 in revenue. And you laughed, but you were nice and gentle with me a little bit, and you're like, "Don't worry, that is definitely doable." um, because I think I didn't know exactly what a coach or a mentorship program brought with it. That I figured, hey, I want to try this out because this seems to be specific to the niche or the industry that I want to be in.
Hmm.
Um, and you were able to bring and mention value items to me. The uh, at the time, it was systems calls on Mondays, so it was talking about CRM. And my background, I went to school for finance, so I knew what CRM stood for. Um, and I kind of knew like, oh wow, they're gonna show us basic stuff, and I was wrong about that. It's so much more.
Hmm.
And then your coaching calls on Wednesdays, and it was very active. Once I was added to the group chat, it was kind of off to the races.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And what was a big sort of highlight of like what was a big highlight of your time? Like, or when did you start to see the the rewards or the fruit of the investment that you put in?
Um, well, I would say that I definitely dragged my feet for the I jumped in probably the first month, and then I dragged my feet for months 2 and 3. And I would say that when it started to click for me was that I realized that um, I was being provided with kind of coaching on a mindset, and for some reason my mind was stuck in my own ways about controlling my own reality, and only taking pieces of the program when it was convenient for me. And then one of the things about the program was to increase your social media presence by posting, right? And it
Yeah.
doesn't always have to be about business, it can be personal. And to be honest, Steve, I one weekend, I think I was watching my boys at the beginning of this year, and
Hmm.
I was like, "Oh, this is a funny thing that they're doing, like I don't know, climbing inside of and outside of a box and stuff." And I just videotaped it, and I just posted it because I thought, and put some funny music behind it, and I was like, "Oh, that's weird that I'm feeling good, like I'm feeling better because people were interacting with the post."
Wow.
And I started, another big highlight for me was that when I started to not take every single job, not
Yeah.
to politely decline, or as I built my network, I could refer people to others. I don't need, I'm trying to build custom furniture out of wood. I don't
Mhm.
need to take the job that is refinishing someone's bookshelves.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so because you know, I think we hear it a lot, but there's a lot of things that you've said that kind of click, and it's like you only have you have a finite amount of minutes in a day, and if
Mm.
you have a family, if you have other responsibilities, like do what you love, but also like don't just take everything because
Hmm.
it's tangentially related to
Yeah.
furniture or whatever you're
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah. 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 You can, yeah, you don't have to, not every job is a good job, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fascinating. And then talk about the community.
Oh man, it's amazing. I think at any given time, because it's kind of a rolling admissions program, that
Hmm.
any given time there's probably about 20 people in the chat, and they're throughout the United States. So the great thing is that if I have an idea about, hey, I want to run this promotion, does anyone have any feedback on what to put in the flyer, or how would I
Hmm.
word this, or has anyone run into these problems? You could just post it in the chat, and there's a lot of activity.
Hmm.
It's I definitely feel super blessed to meet a lot of great people, and it's funny, you get these side conversations going on when, I met a former program member that lives about 2.5 hours away from me,
Hmm.
and he got asked to bid on a pretty much a whole house build with
Yeah.
multiple vanities, and he reached out to me and asked if I'd be interested in collabing, and so we're kind of working on that now,
That's
and
cool. That's really cool.
but I mean, to be honest with you, having the calls, or sharing um in people's successes, being
Hmm.
able to feel, see that someone, hey, I just took a deposit for a table, or I just sold a my whole kiln out of wood. um it definitely, at no time did I find myself like hating on it. And that's
Hmm.
what I would have done before, where I was like, well, why is that awesome thing happening to that person and not
Hmm.
me?
Yeah.
Whereas like I think it's like, I don't know what the opposite of the saying hurt people, but the
Yeah.
opposite of that happens. And that's part of the mindset though, because the
Yeah.
mindset of abundance that you talk about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but I did go through some tough times in the business, like about a month and a half ago, where it seemed
Hmm.
that like two or three projects just weren't going my way, and rather than the group throwing me a pity party, people would
Hmm.
come in with questions to say, "Hey, have you thought about this?" or suggestions on how to fix things, or "Hey, don't look at it as a whole big problem. If you can break it up into these things." And you know what? It worked out because I
Mm.
had that community.
Yeah. That's so cool. That's so cool. That's so cool. Talk about a big, a most recent win that you love to share with the audience.
Yeah. So, well, I think one of the coolest ones that I did, it was earlier this year in the spring. And it, I had gotten contacted by someone to ask if I build rocking chairs, and
Hmm.
I responded and I said yes, I do, and I hadn't heard back from him, and I actually thought it was a joke, but it turned out to be Jake Owen's management. And I'm
Mm.
in Nashville, so, and I also am a big country music fan. It turns out Jake Owen is a big fan, or very good friends with Kevin Harvick in NASCAR, and he was retiring I believe it would have been last season.
Yeah.
And so Jake wanted to present him with a custom rocking chair that he could present to him at the Coca-Cola 600
Wow.
in Charlotte. So I was able to build a rock or have the rocking chair also have Kevin Harvick's number 4 engraved on it, and then
Mm-hmm.
we had Jake handwrite a little note and sign his name, and then I was able to engrave that on there as well.
So
Um,
cool.
and you know that was he found me through Google, and
Wow.
it's through the optimization that I can have people can find me even with larger YouTube woodworkers in the Nashville area. They were able to find me. And then I think the other big win is the over my shoulder um, the result of a challenge that Steve gave me. Steve said, reach out to local publications and see if they want to do a feature on small businesses. And so the it's called the Connection, but it's the Robertson County Connection. I reached out to them and they were very happy. And within a couple of days, I was on the phone with them doing an interview about a spotlight on a small business. And that actually came out on 4th of July. So
So
that
cool.
yeah, it hangs over my shoulder. It's probably my most prized possession in my office here.
It's pretty cool to just get recognized for your work, right? Like it's just like you're, it's like this. It's like the social proof in your in your life, in your business. Like, oh, I'm heading in the right direction. I think I am doing the right thing, and oftentimes you are working hard, and you have these goals that you set in life, and business can be very, very hard, and it can like kick you in the teeth, and uh, oftentimes I just went through um with one of my mentors. It's just there's two types of thinking. There's amateur thinking and there's achiever thinking. And amateur thinking says, oh, I got to do things by myself. Oh, I got to figure it out. Oh, I need to pull myself up by my bootstraps, right? Achiever thinking is, hey, look, I don't know everything. I can support on other people. My dreams are validated. Oh, because why? Because there are other people that are doing the things that I want to do. Like, and and um, and sometimes you can get like a little piece of acknowledgement, like, oh, if I do good enough work, people will recognize me. No, like you actually have to let people know that you exist. And as a result of that, you can get acknowledged for your work. And so, dude, I'm like super proud of you, man, from where you started to like where you are now, and the growth. And you've had some other, I mean, you didn't even talk about the whole table deal that came to you with that other guy. And
Oh
like
yeah.
you bid out on like a 30K project right there. You've had so many more wins, and you went from a dude being able to uh to to a guy that a woodworker that made coin holders to now selling tables and
Yeah.
vanities
Yep.
in less than a year.
Yeah. Yeah. It's exciting. It's pretty crazy. The being able to have a moment to look back on. I thought probably in the fall of last year, I was like, I wonder if I'll ever get to the point where I'll have so many projects that are completed in a given amount of time that you kind of forget about them. And
Yeah.
when I was going through my website to add some pictures and change some things up, I totally forgot about the vanities that I built for a client that actually her general contractor found me on Instagram, on my business
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, and he sent me a note and asked, "Hey, would you be able to build a vanity that looks like this?" Um, and then he put me in contact with her, and that was really cool. Having the ability to, reach people, and, get out of your comfort zone of, I always feel like, hey, I'm talking about myself too much, or whatever. And that's one of the things that you coach your members on, is like, sometimes you got to feel that way, because if you're you know if you're posting something on social media and you assume that every single person that follows you or is friends with you sees that one thing, then you just don't know how that works.
Yeah.
um and it's super helpful to, you get that you gain that validation by being genuine in your posts. And um you can still be humble and be a business owner, is what I found. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
at, that's something that I just didn't know how to even. It was like oil and water to me before the program.
For sure. For sure. Um, Maybe the last question is like, why should people invest in themselves and join a mentorship program like the ones we have?
Well, I think what you just said there is a great thing to, a launching point of investing in yourself. Um, before I paid into the program, I was paying all these other things, like Google ads and Facebook ads, and um, not really understanding that I'm messing around with a tool that, if you don't do it right, it's kind of just like burning money. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I think, if I had to if I had to say what the best thing about the program is, and the reason why I feel that people should really consider it, and um, is that, yes, you're a component of what you're looking for when you're, taking a sales call from builder growth, is, okay, how is this going to bring in green dollar signs?
Yeah.
And there is it is an important thing, because, if you're not bringing in revenue, then your business is going to go out of business. But what I can say is, through actual testimonial and real life experience, is that, while I did bring in more revenue, it really is investing in yourself. It's setting you up to have uh, an entrepreneurial mindset, for those that maybe weren't exposed to it. Um, and it can be like drinking from a fire hose at times, but the great thing is that Steve's done a really good job of building out his team, that you get a lot of really good industry experts to really train you. And one thing I will say is that, the Woodpreneur program, and Steve, he doesn't drive to your business and give you money. He doesn't just hand you over the revenue. But what he's doing is, what I feel, and you might say, oh, John's drink the Kool-Aid, but he's giving you the tools to sustainably continue to get revenue. It's like
Mm-hmm.
leading a horse to water.
Yeah.
Um, and what I found is that it's kind of grown me how to have difficult conversations with customers, how to politely decline work, how to figure out why my advertisements aren't resulting when they were working a month ago. Um, it's so many different facets that, I value the program so much more than just the the revenue that I brought in. And I would definitely encourage anyone that is on the fence, to give it a chance, because it is, um, investing in yourself. I think, self help is very popular right now.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're constantly downloading Audible books to try to, searching the self help section, trying to figure out what's the next best thing for my small business. And you're in this industry of woodworking or sawmills, or it's very beneficial to know that, and I think that there's a lot of people that have gone through the program that would be happy to give you 5 minutes of their opinion,
Yeah,
myself included.
cool. Very cool. Give everybody your website, Instagram, so they can follow your work.
Yeah. So it's Cut Twice Woodworks on Instagram and Facebook, and it's www.cuttwicewood.com. And
Awesome.
I'm in the Middle Tennessee area, and I definitely appreciate you having me on, Steve.
Cool. Dude, thank you so much. Again, super proud of you, all the stuff that you've done, and I look forward to seeing where you go next.
All right.
All right, talk to you soon.